Good evening, Season 6. It's us, your good buddies and mentors from Season 5, and we are so honored to be your substitute teachers tonight. And more than that, to bring you some truth and some wisdom that we picked up not only from Carmen, but from our own journeys, both individually and as a group. I'm your host, Zach Hamill, and I am proud to say that since May, I have released 74.2 pounds, and I am now, as of this morning, at my goal weight.
Wow.
Megan Trombley, 250.0 pounds.
Shelley, 230.5.
Megan Trombley, 250.0 pounds.
Dan Martin, 244.3.
Kimberly Valenciano, 211.6.
Chandra, 245.3.
Kimberly Gaston,
Allison, 215.4.
So before we get into standings, we are here to discuss how we feed ourselves and how our words can fuel us just as much as our food and our movement. So tonight we're talking about how life and death is truly in the power of the tongue. The truth is we create our own reality with our own thoughts. So if we speak death over our thoughts, our lives will be filled with dead things, dying things, things that have no purpose whatsoever but to drag you down, to disintegrate you, to keep you stuck. So if we create our realities with our own thoughts, then we need to master our thoughts. We need to speak life over our thoughts and speak passion and peace and perseverance over our thoughts. And when you do this, and when you do it often, your body follows. Your body believes it. And I'm sure you've heard Carmen say this before by now, that your brain does not know the difference between a truth and a lie. So as much as eating well and moving your body are a discipline, are a practice, so is speaking life over your words. And at first, speaking life instead of death may feel inauthentic. But if you think about it, is it any less authentic than when we let ourselves off the hook? Or when we reward ourselves for bad behavior? You know, like, I did pretty good, I can have a Snickers, or I can snag a few French fries off my kid's plate. You know, if you are able to speak inauthentically in those ways, then you can use the same trick to spring you into action. So it's a practice. And it may not ring true in the moment, but one thing that we've all learned is that motivation comes after you do the thing. So if you're not used to speaking life, it may not ring true, but you speak life anyway. And the more you say these things to yourself, or you say them in a mirror, or have words all around you, Instagram accounts, things you print off the internet, words of affirmation, and things you just surround yourself with, even the stuff you read, the stuff you watch, they will become your thoughts. And they will carry you when your body is too tired, or when that bag of peanut butter M&Ms is whispering to you in the checkout line. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. What we say matters. How we think matters. And it is a practice and a testament to how much more powerful you could become. And one of my favorite aphorisms from our season is my friend Corey, who loves to say, I love water and water loves me. And when you say it, doesn't that just bring a smile to your face? Just hearing it, doesn't that feel good in your heart to hear that, to say it? It feels even better to say it than it does to hear it. And one of my favorite, another favorite thing is I am statements. Like my wife Kia has I am statement cards up all over in just about every room in the house, and they're truth. I mean, reading them makes them true. You know, if you tell yourself these things, they become true. Or my friend Myrna, who we're going to hear from a little bit later, and I won't spoil it in case she wants to talk about it, but she says something to herself before her workouts, which I probably steal about once a week when my ankle hurts and I'm tempted to go easy on plyo and cardio. One morning when I had to trick myself into working out, I actually looked in the mirror and I yelled to myself. I was like, look at you, you're so strong. Look at those muscles. Look at that jawline. I didn't have a jawline, but it made me happier. And it was instant, and it carried me through. And another time I was convinced that I could only work out in the mornings, but that I was not an evening workout person. But I became an evening workout person when I told myself that I was an evening workout person. I can work out any time of day because it helps me to do everything else that I want to do in my life, with my life. I seriously went from being someone who never exercised ever and eating Ben and Jerry's almost every single night. I was the original chubby hubby. I was the one who was to being someone who craves movement. And because I no longer eat for comfort, depression, or stress anymore, I am so much more productive. And in some ways, I'm making up for lost time. And that's something that I'm working through also in being patient with that process as well. Because you never know what's going to trigger, right? So you master your thoughts and you get specific about your goals. As Carmen will say, it doesn't become dynamic until it becomes specific. So what are you hoping to do with your dream body? What will reaching your health goals allow you to achieve for yourself or for the lives of those around you? And what specifically? Not like vague notions that will get you Miss America, but like get really clear on what you want to do. You know, for years, well, I'll just say I'll be really clear about what I want to do. I'm going to be a movie director, and I need lots of energy and focus and charisma for that. And for years, I had imposter syndrome, and it's something a lot of artists go through. And just if you're a person in the world, everybody goes through a little bit of it, you know, just sort of this feeling of, who am I? Who am I that people should listen to me? This is a silly dream. But the more I said those things to myself, it ate away at my soul, and I ate away the pain to the tune of 244 pounds at my heaviest. And the truth is, in my 240 plus pound body, I was an imposter. I wasn't supposed to be big. I wasn't supposed to be big in that way. And this, at almost 165 pounds, I'm a little under this morning, which made me happy, this is who I'm meant to be. And I will direct movies, and that will happen. So that's enough from me. And now we'll hear some great insights and perspectives from our wonderful team tonight on a variety of topics relating to life and death, being in the power of the tongue.
Yes, I'm Kia Hamill, and I have the great honor of being married to that awesome gentleman. And since we started our health journey together last May, I have officially said farewell to 45.6 pounds. And it feels so good. And I think I'm about 20 pounds away from goal. So that's exciting too. So now I am excited to get to celebrate with you just one small measure of all of the work you've been doing so far, and that is the standings. And one thing that I've come to learn and love about the standings after 141 days in the program now is that people's positions on here will go up and down. So you can just expect that. In my first week of the standings, I was in 13th place, but let's just say I didn't stay there. But even when I was in 13th place, and I'll admit I was pretty messed up in my head about it, upon reflection and encouragement from my teammates, I came to realize that where I was and where you are all right now is exponentially better than where we were before starting the biggest transformation. So with all that being said, let's celebrate each other right now and all of the progress we've made so far. Here we go. So in 12th place, this person has been freed of 4.2 pounds, 1.66%. We have Kimberly G. In 11th place, this person has parted ways with 6.2 pounds, 2.84%. In 11th place, we have Kimberly V. In 10th place, this person has cut loose 9.5 pounds, 2.95%. In 10th place, we have Shelley. In 9th place, this person has shed 9 pounds that she will never see again, 3.12%. In 9th place, Jill. In 8th place, this person has cast aside 12.4 pounds, 3.93%. In 8th place, we have Kia. In 7th place, this person has said bye-bye to 8.2 pounds, 4.14%. In 7th place, we have Tawana. In 6th place, this person has kicked to the curb 12.4 pounds, 4.43%. In 6th place, it's Tammy. In 5th place, this person has kissed farewell to 10.6 pounds, 4.82%. In 5th place, we have Sheila. All right, coming up to 4th place. In 4th place, this person has given the old heave-ho to 12.8 pounds, 4.87%. In 4th place, we have Megan. All right. Whew, this is so exciting. All right, in 3rd place, this person has let go of 14.3 pounds, 5.52%. In 3rd place, we have Dan. All right. 2nd place. This person has said, you don't belong here anymore, to 12.8 pounds, 5.59%. In 2nd place, we have Allison. Way to go. All right, and our 1st place for this week, this person has powerfully released 6.8 pounds, 6.4%. In 1st place, we have Chandra. Congratulations. Congratulations to all of you. Well done. So in 3 weeks, you guys, season 6, as a team, you have lost 129.2 pounds. That's a lot of pounds. And you will never see those again. They are gone. Bet that all of our brains are pretty darn full right now. Not only with the demands of our day-to-day lives, but also with every new thing here that we are working so hard to absorb. So let's not make our brains work harder than they already are. Let's streamline things. Let's use positive phrasing. So let's say you are a kind and well-meaning teammate. You might say, hey everyone, don't forget to turn in your progress pictures to Carmen. What's wrong with that? It's a nice reminder. But when our brains hear this, even though we're not aware of it, because this is how most people in our world talk, our brains actually have to go, don't forget. Don't forget. Oh gosh, what am I not supposed to forget? Instead of saying don't forget and making our brains go through all of those mental gymnastics, let's use the great action word remember. Hey everyone, remember to send in your progress pictures. My brain gets to go straight from remember directly to what do I need to remember? Send in the pictures. Oh, so much easier. Another example that's directly applicable to what we're doing right now is with our water. Whew, I still got some more to go, but I'm gonna do it. So we could say, be careful not to get behind on your water. And that's good to remember, but it's focused on the negative, right? Be careful not to get behind on your water. Versus if we say, be sure to stay ahead on your water goal. That's empowering. Staying ahead of the game feels better. My last example that well-meaning people use to lift others up sometimes is, don't be discouraged. When I hear that, all I'm thinking of is being discouraged. This friend has just told me what not to be. How is that helpful? Instead, let's say, be encouraged. Doesn't that even feel different when you hear it?
I've heard this quote a few different times, and one of the coaches that I had told me the heaviest door or the heaviest weight you're ever going to lift at the gym is the gym door. And I thought about that and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so true, right? Like so many times we wake up and we're trying to get our mind turned on in the beginning, like, we have to do this. Come on, this is going to be a good thing. And that's what I've told myself. This is good. My body craves it. It wants it. And you just always head to that area. Even if you don't want to do it, you turn on that tape and you get these things going. I say tape, but we have Beachbody On Demand, right? I'm just showing my age, but we get on that Beachbody On Demand and we just get started because we're jumping all in. So we want to try to find all of the positives that we can to really keep us going. And we really want to remember too, and I don't know if any of you are feeling this, this is totally natural, but for me in the beginning, I couldn't understand why it was happening to me. But as soon as I would get to my workout area, I would start to release. I would cry. Things would come to my mind that I never thought of before. You know, like, oh my goodness, this must be something that's sitting in the back. And those endorphins and everything that you're putting out during that workout that you're doing, that's going to bring all of those things to the surface. And we really just have to work through them and let that be a positive thing. Feel your feelings. And so all of these things that we go through, we really just have to find the positive and just know that we're going through this for a certain reason. And sometimes it's not easy. Lean on your mentors. That's what we're here for, is to help you, to encourage you, to answer questions that you have. And so we can help you get through these things. And if you're stuck with something, just know you're not alone. Other people have been through it as well. So never really look at anything as being a negative. Every situation that we go through is a positive, and we just need to find the positive side of it.
Okay. Hi, my name is Heather Noggle, and since May 16th, I have released 63.2 pounds, which in the beginning, I didn't believe I could do, because 99 and 44/100% of this struggle is mental, and your brain believes what your mouth tells it. That's our focus tonight. So I had what you call stinking thinking about the food. I was feeling sorry for myself about the restriction of the food choices, which is, it's just patently false. There's so many food choices. So I want to talk a little bit about the food, I'm going to give you some ideas and some tips and some resources that we have. But I want to start with, I want to start with going through a typical meal, one meal that I would have had on a day before May 16th, and then a whole day's worth of food that I had. I think actually this one was during carb cycling. A cousin of mine went with me on a trip to Salt Lake City in June, and she said, why don't you just count your macros? I said, this does count the macros, only it does it in an easy way. It's just a container, right? If you go in and you watch the videos, there's so much information in those videos. And Autumn says, you know, our plan is 40% carbs, 30% protein, 30% fat. But you don't have to figure that out. But because of my stinking thinking, I went ahead and downloaded a calorie tracker because I was experiencing some things that I thought were maybe due to vitamin deficiencies, mineral deficiencies. And I just downloaded one that tracks all of it. So I have this information stored up. I did not eat this, but I'm going to walk you through it. Okay, so the meal that I figured out today was Burger King, 10 chicken nuggets, 1 barbecue sauce, 1 ranch sauce, a medium order fries. Did you ever order a medium fry in the drive-thru in the last 10 years? I didn't. 4 ketchups, I said that already, and 24 ounces of Coca-Cola. And that added up to 1,309 calories. And that's all. If I were eating that way now, that's all I would get to eat in one day, one meal. And I went and looked at it. That's only 26% of the protein that I need for the day, 102% of the carbs, and 120% of the fat. So it just, I'm sorry. I was eating a day's worth of calories every single time I ate. And this day I had for breakfast, I had Energized chocolate Shakeology, a teaspoon of cacao nibs, which is a teaspoon of fat, grapes. For lunch, I had tuna, hummus, hard-boiled egg, carrots, celery, and romaine. For dinner, I had a tuna steak, baby spinach, olive oil, and dressing. And then at some point during the day, I had wheat thins and almond butter and a recovery. And that was 1,255 calories. That is a lot more food than this. Carmen said early on in the program, people say they know how to lose weight, but do they? Like, do they really know if they don't really lose the weight? Like, I knew this information. I'm 52 years old. I've known this information for 35, 40 years, but I wasn't doing it. So.
Hi, my name is Myrna Lopez, and since starting this program, I have lost 38.2 pounds, and I'm only 15 pounds away from my goal.
Yay!
My topic. What are you saying about your workouts? Let me know in the chat. What do you say about your workouts? Type on there, tell me, what do you say about them? While you do that, I'll tell you what I used to say. I used to say, I'm too tired. I don't have time. I don't like to sweat. Now I laugh at this one. I would say, that's too much laundry. Another one that I would say is I'm not a morning person. Since then, starting this program, we're talking about what we say to ourselves matters. I made a shift. In the summer, I started waking up, setting my alarm at 5, and I would say I'm not a morning person. And I set my alarm at 5. I would take my Energizer and I would get my workout done early in the morning. And then I'm like, wow, I said I borrowed from somebody. I'm a morning person, and then I was doing it. So that changed it. So I can no longer say I'm not a morning person. Since then, my schedule's changed. I've become I'm an evening workout person, but I'm getting it done. And it's funny, before when I didn't have time, when I was saying I wasn't a morning person, and when I would get to work, my day would barely be getting started then. It wouldn't start until I had a cup of coffee. Man, by the time I got to work at 8 in the morning, I was ready to rock and roll. Here are my coworkers, you know, waiting for their coffee to kick in, and I would feel like I had all this energy and I would feel better. My work would go smoother and I would just have an overall better day. And by the end of the day, when it was bedtime, I would actually be sleepy. Like it would be time to go to bed versus having all this other energy and not managing my sleep and my sleep times well. Another one that I used to say is, oh, I want my knees to hurt. My knees would hurt. That was something that I used. So then let me tell you another thing that's changed. Now, I used to not like sweating. It was like so gross to me. I was like, oh, once I feel icky. And then I was like, I'm gonna mess up my makeup. Like I'm telling you these things that I would say. Now I say, I love to sparkle, or I'm sparkling, or I'm glowing. Man, once I get to see the sweat down my collar, I'm like, yes, like it just makes me feel good. Says the person who would say, I don't like to sweat. Changing my outfits, having my workout outfit. Big change on that is now I get excited. Guys, I went from wearing workout pants in a 2XL. Myrna wears size medium now, y'all. And I started with, when I made the change to the large, it felt good. And then, you know, we say, you know, don't spend a bunch of money on clothes right now because that's not the size you're gonna live in. But when I went to that medium, I got me some nice stuff. And now I look forward to putting on those clothes. And I got some workout t-shirts with funny sayings. Just anything to motivate me to look forward to that workout versus dreading that workout.
Hi, season 6. I am going to ask you the question for tonight. But first, isn't my team amazing? I love my team. Season 5, y'all are rocking it. And we have worked through all of these things like y'all are right now. Like we have been where you are right now. And continuing to work through these things by giving you these tips, like it's super helpful. And so thank y'all for all of these tips. I've been writing them down too.
Me too.
All need to remember these things. We have to change our mindsets. Kia, that was so good. Like some of the things about like don't say and the negative, turning it into a positive and how our brains work. We have to know how our brains work and what is going to help us to be successful. It's so important. So what I say now that is so powerful for me is that doesn't align with my goals. That is a powerful one. Instead of, I can't have that. Isn't that so depriving? Doesn't that feel like you're depriving yourself when you say, I can't have that? Mm-hmm. It's like you're a little kid, just like Kia was saying, you feel sad. She feels so sad inside that you can't have that. You're keeping yourself from something that you really want and desire, but you can't have it. So instead, that doesn't align with my goals. And it's so powerful because when we really are aligning ourselves and our mindset with our goals, it is so powerful. So I am April Brown, and I have gracefully released and excitedly released 25 pounds since May 16th. And I'm at my goal weight. And actually, when that week that y'all started, that's when I hit my goal weight. So I think a little bit of this mentorship that y'all can look forward to is about like kind of working through the stuff too, because you feel like you have to get your stuff together if you're going to be a mentor. So that's what I was working on that week. Like, pull yourself together, April. This is my saying. So I had to get myself together so that I could be the mentor that my mentor needed. And I have an amazing mentee. She's amazing. I love her. Shelly, you're rocking it. And so anyway, okay, so today the question is, okay, what's the biggest struggle that you've had in the past 2 to 3 weeks? You're on third week, right? Going into your fourth. So, and the biggest thing that you've overcome.
Hi, everybody. I think my biggest struggle, and it's kind of silly, but I am kind of terrified to share this on Facebook. I don't post a lot on Facebook. I don't share a lot of my life on Facebook. But I know I got to get over the fear. I got to get over the shame, because, you know, that will lead to failure. So that's been my biggest struggle. And I know I got to do it in a day and a half, and I will do it. So, and I think the biggest thing I've overcome is drinking the water, because every day I would get up, I would make my cup of coffee for my 40-minute commute to work. And then when I got to work, I had my big 20 to 30 ounce, cup that kept it hot. And I would sip on my coffee till 11. Then for lunch, it was a Diet Coke. Then at dinner time, it was another Diet Coke. And maybe in the evening, a beer. So no water went into me. So I think that's been my biggest accomplishment. And I get it in pretty early in the day as well.
I think the biggest thing for me, the struggle was, getting up 6 days a week, exercising, and eating the right containers and the right foods, and not seeing the scale. So I encourage myself to say that it's going to catch up. It's going to work towards my goals. This is working towards my goals when it's time to get up and, do that workout, which I've not been a morning person, but I get most of my workouts out get it done in the mornings. Sometime it may be the evening. So just getting that long clock and setting it and saying that I have goals to meet. This is going to help me make my goals. It's going to make me feel better. Getting it done in the mornings. I'll be ready and, feeling full of energy and just, feeling better for the day. So I just stay focused on the goals, and what I'm not putting in my mouth that I used to put in my mouth. It helps me get over the struggle.
So my biggest struggle in the past 2 to 3 weeks has been, I was shocked by how out of shape I was, because in my mind, I was like still, not that far from high school, and played volleyball and cheerleaded and softball and all this stuff. And so like, I thought maybe there was some, athletic ability in there somewhere, until I started doing the 21-day fix. And I shared this with my Marco Polo group, but I spent a lot of time like crawling around the floor trying to get up between exercises, and, like focusing on breathing and things like that. So the first couple of weeks were like really hard to me. But that's also, I would say, been the biggest thing that I've overcome, is that by week 3, and I couldn't really believe it, by week 3, I was doing so many moves that were not modified, or that had some weights, or, I could like the burpees, Dan, I actually could like get up and down, like a few times. So anyway, that's been the hardest part, I think, because I was a little overconfident about where my body was at, in physical wise. So it just kind of caught me off guard. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I got a long ways to go. But it has been surprising at how quickly it has adjusted, and my body has improved in the 3 weeks.
Hello. I'm kind of like Allison, where I thought I was like more athletic than what I really was. And I ended up, I was like, I'm not modifying anything. I'm going to do everything the way it's supposed to be done. And I hurt myself. And so I think that was probably the biggest struggle. Everything is the biggest struggle when it's the struggle I'm going through in the moment. But like at the time, that was the biggest struggle, trying to say, okay, well, I'm still going to work out. It was the mental struggle of, okay, I guess I got to modify everything. Because it hurt my ego a little bit. But, pushing through that, was a struggle for a little while, but I got through it. And what have I over? So something that really surprised me that it was really rough, but I overcame it, is when I go to the movie theaters, it's a full-on experience for me. Like, I'm purchasing nachos and peanut M&Ms and popcorn and soda, and like, we're going all out. I don't bring stuff from outside to go in, so it's the full experience. And I I laugh at what I brought. I brought like ham. I was like, okay, I don't know what to bring, but like protein is probably the best thing to bring. And like, I already was done with all my containers, and I was like struggling mentally. Like, I don't know what to bring. I have to bring something, and I did not eat it, but I had ham in my pocket, but I didn't eat it. So that was something that I overcame, and I was like super happy about that.
So I have to tell you, I've had a lot of struggles, and some of it my team members know and some they don't. But I will tell this: the Saturday before the program started, and no one knows this, I broke the top of my left foot. And I didn't tell anyone because I'm like, I am doing this. So I've done every exercise, I haven't missed. And then I will tell you, like, after week one, and the team knows this, man, I had a tough one. I broke down, and I was at like 6 weeks straight of traveling. I travel a lot for my work, but still losing. And then obviously the hurricane this week. So I just got power yesterday, no water yet. So we're on water restrictions. And so I haven't been getting my water. I didn't have any vegetables last week because, nothing was fresh. All the frozen was gone. But no, I mean, things are great. I got a great team. And I was just thinking today on all the Marco Polos, I'm like, man, I am surrounded by some strong, beautiful women, and it's a blessing to be part of this team. So just pushing through.
I think my biggest challenges have been mental. For me, showing up and thinking I can do this has been one of my big obstacles. Not being scared to fail again, and just believing that I can do it. And I'm not sure I 100% do most days, but I have overcome some of that mental battle within myself by showing up every day. And, I don't think honestly that without a team the team that we have in this program, that I would be doing this well. And so I'm so grateful for everyone that's part of this program, including you guys from season before. But really just thinking you can do it. I didn't even want to try, you know what I mean? Because I didn't want to fail again. So now showing up every day and gaining the strength of being here and working hard on it is so far my biggest obstacle.
I think one of the biggest obstacles I've had is sharing on a daily basis, because I don't like to do that. I'm kind of private. So sharing has been something that I just haven't liked doing. So it's getting easier, but still not what I enjoy doing. And I think the other obstacle is, I shared earlier, why is this emotional? Trigger, like we talked about last week. I think a big one that has hit hard this week is not seeing that scale move. When you do everything you're supposed to do and you overcome temptations and you still don't see success. And the first 2 weeks were really good weeks, and then to have that bad week and everything not go your way. And I had really two big temptations, and I stood my ground. So that was really tough. I think some of my things that I've overcome is I am I was definitely not a morning person either, but getting up early in the morning has really set my days off better. I'm getting a lot more done at work, and when I get home, so I'm sleeping better. So that's a great thing. But the non-skill victories are a lot of things I'm seeing, which are helping me get through the non-skill victories of not seeing it go. So that's where I'm at.
My biggest challenge so far has definitely been this last weekend, traveling with a bunch of my girlfriends. It was a trip that we planned way before I ever decided to do this challenge. And I planned all my food so that, that went really well. I planned every meal and kind of like had it in containers to be easy to grab and stuff. But one thing that I didn't plan for is kind of just, when you're with a big group of people and you're sharing space, I plan on doing my workouts. But one of my friends she really needed to sleep on the couch for some medical stuff. And so in order to honor that, that meant that, I plan on getting up early before everyone else and doing my workout in the living room. So how I overcame that is I just decided to like go work out outside, but I wasn't doing like my planned beach body workouts that I kind of committed to. And so, I still got outside, I still, overcame. But then, when I got back and I stepped on the scale this morning, I did gain a couple pounds. And so that was some, it's just a learning experience. And just learning how to like be flexible when you're with a group of people and sharing space and stuff like that. So it was still a lot of fun, and still really proud of myself for all the planning that I did put into it. But yeah, this morning when I got on the scale, it was definitely a wake up call. So that's it.
Hello. Hey. Mine is probably gonna sound funny, but mine was like reality. Like reality has been the hardest thing for me to get over. And I know some people touched on it, but for me, it's like really deep how much I use my brain for the opposite of what you're talking about, like convincing us that we can do our workouts. Well, I had convinced myself I wasn't fluffy, that I could do everything and that I wasn't. And so every time like, oh, I don't like this food, or I don't like, so every time I do something, it's just a mental reality battle of, no, this is where I've had to say out loud to myself, go step on the scale. This is where we are. I can't convince myself out of it. The reality is there. And I know that sounds hard, but it's really, for me, it's been freeing. It's been freeing just to go having that. I thought the scale was going to be the most terrifying thing in the entire world. And honestly, it does mess with my mind. I'm not going to tell you that it doesn't, but knowing that's where I am, it's just solid. I can't convince myself anything else. I can't go this way, that way. It's just what it is. And if it's that day and it's just something like weird, like hormonal or like weird or whatever it is, it's still what it is, And so for me, it's just looking at the hard and fast, going, seeing it, and trying to move on with what I know I'm supposed to do because I have a plan, and just doing it. And that is really hard for me. I live in my own world a lot of the times, which is a lot of the reason why I've gotten a little bit here. And I just make my own reality. Like, this isn't true. I can fit in those jeans. Well, I'm going to find a size that fits what I want to fit in. And then whatever store agrees with me, then that's what I'm going to wear, really. And I can really convince myself of a lot of things. And I think that's been the biggest struggle is getting back to the place where I'm being honest with myself, and working hard and enjoying the process instead of being like, I have to do this. So I think that's the biggest reality for me. And also I think our team being transparent has really helped me, because we all got on this and said, we're going to show our weight to the world. And it just backed up my spine a little bit, that I was like, okay, like they're doing this, like we're really putting it out there. And so I couldn't just be the one that didn't, you know what I mean? Like, it was just kind of like, okay, these people are being brave. I gotta be brave as well. So yeah.
All right. Hey guys. I think these past 3 weeks, going on 4 weeks, my biggest struggle has been definitely the scale. I've always had a pretty unhealthy relationship with the scale, and after a little while, I'm not seeing it moving or it's not going the way I want. You know, that's usually the point where I'm just like, okay, this isn't working. Like, give up, whatever. But I guess just my biggest, overcoming it, pushing through, not letting the scale get me discouraged, just kind of looking at it like data. I think Kia or Zach, one of them told me it's just data. Don't let it make you feel one way or the other. Just look at it for what it is and keep going, because as long as you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, it'll catch up and it'll all work out. So just being positive, and I say to myself like 100 times a day, faith and fear cannot coexist. Like, just over and over and over again. I see something I don't like, and that's my go-to line. So just really pushing through that and getting over the negativity and just being positive and looking at the good and not the negative.
My biggest challenge has just been dealing with my swelling. And everybody on the Marco Polo group knows when I first got started with this, you know, obviously we're eating better. We changed our eating. Everything was spot on. And I jumped into the exercises. I was doing it, and my swelling progressed, and it went into my face, and it just mentally, it was a challenge. And I'm like, you know, I'm doing all the things. I'm doing all of this, and it's supposed to help me. You know, that's what I was telling myself. You know, it was going to help my swelling and things were going to be better. So I had to really, the challenge for me was just learning to step back and listen to my body. I listened to my therapist and my trainer for lymphedema, and I just, you know, have to pick and choose what I do day to day, depending on how my body reacts to it. And I'm not beating myself up with that now. So I feel like I've come to a place where I can see that I am progressing, but it was definitely a struggle, definitely.
Hi. The hardest thing I had to get over is putting myself first. I grew up with a mindset that good moms don't do that. They put their kids first, and I have 6 kids. And I was a military wife for 25 years. So putting my needs on the back burner became easy. It was an easy fit. And so jumping into this program, I kind of had to have a powwow with everybody, like, this is not comfortable, but I need your support. And it's been amazing, from my husband and my kids and the ones that still live at home, have been really, really supportive. I've had to travel twice in 3 weeks. And, you know, they encouraged me. They stopped at grocery stores. It's just been a real family effort to put me first, which is great. I've gotten to see them loving me back. And they're all jumping on board right now because they're so excited after 3 weeks, how I've got energy and I'm happy. And so I love our support group. Like everybody's been saying, my mentor Heather's been amazing with my gazillion questions and getting angry over the scale week 2 and what do I do and how do I do it. But I have to say that just seeing my family, that eating window thing does not do well for family dinners when I get up at 6. So we've had to adjust things, and I've had to like eat hours before I cook dinner for the family. And just those things are hard to overcome, but now everybody's adjusting when they eat. And it's just been wonderful to see them all champion me.
Season 6, welcome. Welcome to my home. This is my workout place as well. And by the way, I have a news flash for you. You keep looking at the scale, but you're forgetting something. You're not just losing weight, you're putting on muscle. Last time I checked, muscle weighs more than fat. You know how I know? Because as I lost 60 pounds in 12 weeks, I was losing fat, but I was failing in my mind to realize the change that my body was going through. I was rebuilding muscle that I had 30 years ago that I had not been working, and I was gaining muscle because I was then working and doing the exercises. So give yourself a break. You don't know what's going on in your body. But what I do know is that this process works. Every one of you, when you started this, it's a dream. A dream, it says a dream, a wish or desire that comes from the soul. All of you started this journey. You had a dream that we were going to get healthy. It's not just about losing weight. It's really about transforming your body, transforming your mind, and getting to a place where we can maintain this healthy lifestyle. This same time last year, I almost died. I had not taken care of myself, and April and I got so sick. I was hospitalized for days, and I realized I've got to do something. And actually, it was my wife reminding me of who I was, because I was so disciplined in every area of my life, except one thing, is I lived to eat instead of eating to live. And this process that I love Carmen to death for introducing this to me and to my family, because it is transformational. I want to remind you something. It's a little, April's got all these sayings, a lot of people do it. Obviously, we're part of Destiny Global, and this saying, she has all these sayings all over our house, right? I just showed you dreams. Well, dreams don't work unless you do. You're doing the work. Now then, as you do this to accomplish your dream, understand, trust, rule number one, trust the process. Trust the process. It absolutely works. The scale is going to lie to you. How is it lying to you? You don't know as you're doing the work, and you're hoping that it's going to lose 5 pounds, 7 pounds, 12 pounds, and you only lose 2, or you gain something in the process. Keep sticking with it. I had weeks where it went up and down. And then as I kept about week 5, things began to transition and change. And it really started coming off very quickly because I was doing it. Make sure that you, rule number 2, are following directions. Do not go off and then try to bench your own way. Carmen's process works. We actually don't even have to have faith in the process, because faith requires that you don't know something. This is a fact. It's what I call an MOF, a matter of fact. This process works 100% of the time, 100% of the time, if you do the work. Follow directions. Do it. When you do it, remember something that I have had to drill in my own head. Every step, every setup, every crunch, every push-up, everything that you're doing is a step towards your goal. Don't discount what you're doing. Some of you can't finish all the workouts. Neither could we, by the way. And then we would think that we're fit, and then we'd get into the next one. She'd go from MBF to MBFA, and oh my goodness, Megan would kill us, and I would want to kill her at the end of it, right? I could barely breathe. And then you just keep going. And by the time that you're done, we look back at where we were, and it's watching this happen, watching dreams become a reality, where now I have abs. I went on a stage and I realized that I was a hypocrite. I was in every area of my life, I had things so straight except one. And here I am talking about transformation from a stage, and I was not taking care of it. I was triple chin Ken, guys. And I want to tell you tonight, I killed him. I said no more, because I'm following directions and I'm trusting the process. And I trust the next version of the process in the freedom phase that I'm in right now. And I'm here to tell you it works. It absolutely works. You can or you can't is determined in your own mind. The minute that you say you can, not only you can, but you will, you have won the battle. Get up, show up every single day, and victory will happen in your life. You'll hit the ghost. I'm living proof of it. Others on this call are living proof of it. I guarantee you, Zach, myself, April, all the others that have lost so much weight, but you come to the end of it, you hit your goal, and you're like, I cannot believe I actually did that. And guys, it is an absolute freeing thing to know that my health is now completely in my hands, and that I have done the work to allow myself to be who I want to be.